Welcome to Juice United Show. And Man United have won away at Wolves. It's 1-0 with a tight victory. Oh my goodness me, that was tough. I'm starting to feel like we might concede a goal there, but that just shows, isn't it? The Premier League is no joke. Like whoever you're playing, this team Wolves are in 18th position, and they look dangerous. They look tough. But the good thing is we look pretty comfortable at the back as well. I was really, really pleased with that. But again, there was a lot that I wasn't too happy with. Frustrations was kicking in, and I knew we missed Rashford because he didn't start. Garnacho tried, but we need Rashford in that side, especially in the form that he's in. We definitely needed him. So let's kick right into this because it's a good victory. We are now finally in top 4, 1 point behind Newcastle. I cannot believe Newcastle have plus 23 goal difference and Man United have only plus 3 or whatever it is. Ridiculous. But anyway, at least we're up there. James Dixon, jump in, lad. I will send you the link right about now. How can I do this now? Invite link. Here we are. Let me see if, guys, bear with me 1 second. I've got to get James in here. Let's see what we can do. Hopefully you can still see me. Oops. I think I pressed the wrong button there. Let me see if I can get it in here. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game to watch. It's full of bits and pieces that it is a frustration game. At the same time, it was still a good game to watch. So let me get my phone up. I've got to get James on here. James, give me 2 seconds. I don't even know where I've put my phone. I need to get you in. Here it is. Here is my phone. I'm going to send you the link right now. Jump in, lad. Actually, you know what? Make it easy. The link's in the post, in the comments, lad. Get in there. Take the link. Jump in. And I will see you shortly. But yeah, so there's a few points I want to go through myself until we see James on here. Point number 1 is Anthony. Quality was not good enough for me, man. I want to see more from this lad. He's not short of work rate at all. He did very, very well when it comes to work rate, defensive work rate, trying to be alive and trying to make things happen. But it's just one of them things where just wasn't coming off for him. And like I was saying before, someone who just uses 1 foot, you better be very, very good with that 1 foot. And I just feel like he needs to work on that left foot a bit more, man, because end product is not there to the levels I want to see. We need to have more end product there. Anthony, you've got to pick up your game. If you're going to play for Man United, you really have to pick up your game. But we do have James joining us right about now. James, how's it going, mate? How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Mate? I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I was just watching, obviously just finished watching the game. Thought, you know what? I've got to give my review on that. But I want to hear your thoughts on that. What was your overall thoughts on the game? I know we got the win. It's a bit tough. Wolves are always a tough team. But how did you see the game anyway?
Quite simply, I think it's a game that we don't win last season. I think that Ten Hag has instilled a confidence and a consistency in the players, a fight and a desire to go when things aren't going your way. And grit and determination proved vital, and we got the win. I think Marcus obviously made the difference coming on. I think we were very solid defensively, and I think that's what you've got to do. You can't blow every team out of the water. I think you've got to go to places like Wolves, keep it tight at the back, and take your chances. And we didn't do that in the first half, but in the second half we did.
100%. 100% is that feeling, isn't it, from last year where you think one of them games where we getting the ball into our box so many times, and you're thinking it's just gonna one day fall to them, and they're just gonna get a chance. It's gonna be 1-1. And again, Ten Hag makes the right moves, makes the right changes, and we see the game out. And the good thing is he makes, that's what I've liked about him all season. He seems to make the right changes all the time. It's always worked out for him pretty much 99% of the time. And I'm buzzing about him. So, what do you think of obviously what he does in these, in these times? Because you can only look in hindsight and say, yeah, whether it was a good move or not. What do you think of that?
Well, I just look back at how far we've come. So I remember the opening away game of the season at Brentford, and we're 4-0 down at half time. And I went live at halftime and I was speaking to people and they were like, we need to be more attacking. We're not created enough. And I'm like, just calm down. Like, we created 3 good chances. We didn't score them. We're creating enough. We're solid at the back. Like, that's the platform to go and win games. Like, you can't go gung-ho all the time. Like, I watched the last couple of Liverpool games and I know they've won, but they've conceded about 50 chances each game and they're very, very lucky to win. And I'm like, that's not the kind of football that you need to play. You need to get a good balance between defence and attack. And Ten Hag sorted the defence out first. And yes, our goal difference might be 3 or 4 now, I think it is. But at the end of the day, we're 4th in the league. And that shows that Ten Hag's game management is absolutely excellent.
You know what? You're damn right, because the one side that we know that we're not quite there yet in is creating, and not creating actually. It's actually just putting away all your chances. And for us to be where we're at in a transition, and this is what I mean, there's the minimums you got to have when you're in a transition. And like, that's why every other supporter sometimes, when we're struggling of the seasons of the past, while we're in them transitions and we're losing the games we should be winning or drawing, this is where Ten Hag's actually winning games we should be winning, and we're still in a transition. We've still got more to go. We've still got things to fix. So it really does say a lot about Ten Hag and the fact that I don't think anybody will be upset if we get 4th or 3rd or 4th or 5th, wherever I think we should be in and around them places if it's going to reflect. If he can continue doing what he's doing for the whole season, I think everybody will be happy with the first season in charge, with the players he's brought in, the integration of the players so quickly, and how far we've come. So, yeah.
Listen, like I was asked my expectations of Ten Hag at the beginning of the season, and someone said to me, like, what would be a successful season for you? What would be happy? And everyone was saying, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, whatever, and putting out places. And I said, I don't want to put a place on it because a lot of it is out of his hands. Like, it depends on our squad depth, depends on injuries. It's a World Cup season. We're going to be playing 3 games a week. So I said, I just want to see us playing a brand of football. I want to see a group of players that have got behind the coach, that adapt into playing a style, that believe in playing for the shirt. I want to see the leak stop from the dressing room. I want to see some management instilled at the club. Like, I want to get rid of this player power thing, and that's what I want for the season. And you've got to see, like, Rashford was dropped today because apparently he was late for the team meeting this morning. I'm like, you can say that's not good and he came on what is the game, but that's standards, mate. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're the superstar or not. That is the standard set by Erik Ten Hag, and it clearly worked. And you saw how delighted he was and how delighted Rashford was when he scored. So that whole situation has ironed itself out and worked because the manager was strong enough to implement that on his star player.
100%. It's because people sometimes, you can have a player who comes on, scores and goes, yeah, you see, but you can see he's not like that. He's done it for the good of the whole team, knowing that it also could hurt us as well. But he knows what you have to have is togetherness of the team and players. And you see how happy he was. It wasn't like, I don't want to bring him on because he was discipline. His discipline was in question. I don't want to bring him on and I want to look good. It was nothing to do with that. It was all a team thing. And again, from the time when we even lost in the second game of the season, I think it was away at Brentford, when he made everyone run, he ran as well. And he's saying, we're in this together. Same thing with this. It kind of reminds me of that. We're all in this together. We need to make everybody responsible for their actions. And let's go. We're all in the same direction. So I'm very, very buzzing about the win, first and foremost, and that we're up in that top 4 and we don't have games in hand anymore. It's actually on the board. So I'm buzzing from that. But do you want to go through the match, the player ratings with me? Or what, James?
Yeah, go, man. Like, I don't know if we normally agree or not, but like, I normally get a lot of hate for mine, but I'll help you if I can.
Let's see. I've written mine already. So what I normally do is I bring up the player, and then when you say your number first and then give your reasons why, I'll put my number up at the same time. Then I'll give my reason why afterwards. So
no changing your answers, Nath.
No, it's already in there. It's already written in. De Gea. What are you giving me for De Gea?
Listen, I put out a list of players after the game on Twitter that I thought deserved a special mention, and I left De Gea out, and someone replied, oh, don't forget De Gea. And I'm like, listen, the save at the end is very good, but let's be straight, it's right at him. Like, he should be making that save, but also he's in the right spot to make the save. I think he didn't have much to do in general, but I think he's probably a 7 out of 10 because of the save at the end.
Yeah. Well, look, I want to add to that the free kick, which was out to in.
Yeah, it was good.
over very well to that as well. And he did what he's supposed to do other than that. I know there's one time he kicked the ball off the pitch, but I think that was he had to kick that one out that time. And everything else is pretty much spot on, to be fair. It's nothing special. You know what I mean? He did what he's supposed to do, and that's when I give players a 7 as well. So, to be fair, De Gea, 7 as well. Exactly the same. Let's see how many we could get the same. Mr. Wan-Bissaka, who's come back through to the side and he's resurgence back into the side, and it's doing okay for me. But what are you saying?
See, I think we might disagree here, because I think he's potentially man of the match and an 8. I thought he was superb. I thought he was absolutely superb. I think people watch him a lot of the time with goggles on, and they put limitations on Wan-Bissaka in what they think he's capable of or not. If Dalot had that performance, he'd be an 8 for me. Defensively, he was superb. He was really good in the link-up play going forward, and he actually put a couple of good balls in the box. He looks very technically comfortable on the ball, which is a credit to Ten Hag, because he never used to. So I was very, very happy with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He made a crucial interception in the first half, a block. I think he was very, very good today, and literally he's an argument for man of the match for me. I know Rashford changed the game, and one of our midfielders was class as well, but I thought he was very, very good. So 8 for me.
Yeah, to be fair, look, I was thinking we're going to disagree the other way around. But look, I've loved his appearance, his performance. Like I was saying, his pass, like exactly what you said. He looked technically comfortable, and that's what you don't normally see about him. But I was saying to my friend, like, one thing that he's always been good at is defending, and another thing is link up in general play has always been all right for me. Yeah. The only thing I've noticed in the past has been his ability to find a player at the right times and cross the ball, you know, in the right areas rather than off the pitch or behind the goal. So with me, that's the only side that I want to see him fix up on, and I've seen the improvements over the last few games as well. But again, you're never going to get change out of him defensively. Like, you try and attack him, there's no point. You might as well go the other side. Yeah. And to be fair, if he keeps this up, you know, Dalot have some trouble getting back in, because we've just got stronger defensively, like I believe, with someone like this in the side. So I want to see more. I still want to see more crossing in as well, getting ahead and the ball getting put back in for him, but it's not his fault. He's just got to keep making them runs. And then when it does get there, it's up to him to make the passes. So yeah, I give him a 7. And you know what? You're not wrong if, you know, I don't mind someone saying an 8, because he deserves it. It's a 7 or 8 for me. So you're damn right. Varane.
See, this is where I probably think we're going to be, like, you might be a little more harsh with your ratings than me, but I'm going the same with Wan-Bissaka. I'm going an 8. I thought it was very, very solid. I figured you'd go the same as Wan-Bissaka in a 7, but I think he was very, very good. I think he's on the ball. He's very good. He won everything in the air. He's obviously the taller out of him and Luke Shaw, so I think the onus was placed on him aerially at the back. I think he was very good. There was a couple of times one-on-one he did well. Closed out the space really well, commands the line really well. I just think we're a much better team with Raphael Varane in the team, and he's class. And there's no surprise that since him and Casemiro have been in the team with 9 Champions Leagues between them, that we look more like a winning team and can grind out results, because they're just winners and they ooze class on the football pitch.
Yeah, 100%. We look so comfortable in terms of, even when we're under pressure, they know where to be. They know what to do. They don't look flustered. They do the right things. And the great thing with Varane is he looks comfortable going left, going right, or whichever foot the ball's on, he can still find you. And the good thing is he's always looking and anticipating that his defender's going to lose the ball or lose the challenge, and he's going to be there to cover. And he's just always there. And that's what I loved about him today. It's like there's no problems whatsoever. You're never worried about what he's doing. And that's why I gave him a 7. It's a clean sheet again. It's another clean sheet. So you can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with giving him an 8 either. Like, you clean sheet, and you've had so much pressure against you in the overall game as well. You're right. He could be on an 8, but obviously my stats are similar to yours. As you can see, they're both 7s. Yours are both 8. So I can understand with that one. And then moving on to Mr. Luke Shaw.
I think we're going to carry on the same thing, mate, because I'm going to give him an 8 again, and I think you're going to give him a 7. Yeah, and give him man of the match, and I'm not surprised, to be honest. I think Luke Shaw was fantastic, and we need to have a real conversation about Luke Shaw as a centre-back, because his ability on the ball, I've said for a long time, Luke Shaw is one of the best passers of the ball in our team. That's guaranteed, nailed on. He's also probably got the best first touch out of anyone in our team. his first touch and close control is impeccable. So you can fizz the ball at him and he can stop it. And what that allows for in defence is he can pass the ball and then collect it straight away. Pass, collect, and just move and recycle and move the opposition around. He's absolutely excellent. He's very good in the air. He's tough in the tackle. He's a very intelligent reader of the game. For his height, like I said, he's good in the air. I think he's got all the attributes to be a very, very good centre-back. And what's interesting with Ten Hag is obviously Maguire was ill recently, but you fancied him. He was in the squad at the weekend, came back on. And then you were expecting him to start today. Everyone had him in their 11. And I think Ten Hag is basically saying, listen, I prefer Luke Shaw at left centre-back. And not only that, I prefer having Malacia in the team at left-back rather than Maguire at centre-back. And to be honest, you can't fault it because that's 2 clean sheets in the 2 games that he's done that. So Luke Shaw's been fantastic. He's been a revelation. And if he offers another option at centre-back, then great. But I imagine Martinez is going to come back in, but fantastic for me, 8.
Yeah, unbelievable. Exactly what you've said. You take the words right out of my mouth once again. Every time, every person you spoke.
You should start going first, Nate. Then I'll copy you.
Exactly what you said there. It's like he's another Leacher. He's like it's left-footed centre back. He's just playing there, similar height, doing the same thing. So of course he's going to choose Shaw over a Maguire because you're getting everything you want, and you just look solid in all aspects of the game, in all times in the game. He just looks very, very solid. So again, that's why I'm looking at him going, you didn't put a foot wrong at all. And you know what? He probably loves it there because he don't have to do them overlapping runs anymore. So he's going to be buzzing even more himself. So, yeah.
Can we have some respect on Luke Shaw's name in general as well? Because I think there's a lot of people that, he had a bad couple of seasons or whatever, or people have this perception that he only plays when there's competition for places, or he only plays when there's this. Listen, if Luke Shaw is in the team and playing well, it's good for Manchester United because Luke Shaw is a fantastic footballer. So we need to put some respect on Luke Shaw's name and actually realise that this season he's been one of our most consistent performers and we are a much better team with him in it. So Luke Shaw deserves a bit of respect from people. Not you, just people in general.
So I love the guy, yeah. The one thing I do believe that he does need that push from behind to be at his top of his game.
Yeah,
and there are
some people do.
Yeah, there are players that are like that. And if it takes that for him to stay at them levels, great. Who cares? It takes different things for different people. Like, you don't want to shout at me on the pitch. You want to kind of put your arm around me.
Yeah.
So I'm a different player like that. If you shout at me and do whatever, I might go in my shell a bit more. So everybody needs something different. Like a Roy Keane needs to scream at everybody. Everybody needs something different. But look, whatever makes you tick, if you can get to them levels, hey, I don't care how you get there. It's about what manager can do that for you. So yeah, sure, you're my man of the match. You're on the 7. Let's go with Malacia.
Good. Let me think. You're probably going to go 7. I'm going to go 7 actually with Malacia. I thought he was good. So yeah, I've gone 1 down. You've gone 1 down. So that makes sense. I'm going to go 7 for Malacia. I thought he was good. He was solid. A bit weak in the tackle. Sometimes I like to see him get stuck in a little bit more. A bit aggressive in certain instances where he goes and tries to win a ball that isn't necessarily there to be won. I don't think we were as effective down the left as we were down the right today, which was the reverse when we played against Forest. Actually, Anthony and Wan-Bissaka didn't work that day at all, but they worked quite well today. Whereas Malacia and Garnacho didn't really work at all in the first half. So I think he was decent, but the other centre-backs and the right-back kind of outshone him, to be honest. But 7 for me.
Yeah, so let me tell you why I gave him that result. It's because earlier in the game, he was making the odd mistakes. As you said, he lost a few challenges, gave the ball away a few times, and trying to find people when it wasn't really on and it didn't get there. And those kind of things were making me think he's a 6. And then towards the end of the game, the last 10 minutes, he started picking up. And I was thinking, should I give him a 7? And I thought, you know what? Let me leave him on a 6 because the others are on a 7. I'd have to move them up and then it wouldn't be right. So I just thought, you know what? He was close to a 7 because of the, overall game. But yeah, it's just the others didn't really put a foot wrong. And he did. I noticed a few times when he did. It wasn't nothing glaring, but it's one of them ones where he's just played a little bit less than a 7. So I'm going to give him a 6, sorry. Casemiro, what are you giving Casemiro?
It's probably one more than you again, but it's an 8 from me. I think he was very, very good, very solid. Listen, we're a different team with Casemiro. I remember having a discussion with you ages ago when McTominay was playing really well and keeping him out of the team. And a lot of people had problems with me. And I'm saying, listen, I'm not saying that Casemiro isn't better than McTominay. I have never, ever said that. I said that Casemiro was taking time to settle. And at that moment, McTominay was a better fit in that team than Casemiro was. It was taking him time to adjust. And once he adjusts, then class rises, like cream always rises to the top. Casemiro has 5 Champions Leagues. The guy is one of the best CDMs. I said when we signed him, he was top 3 CDM in the world. He might be the best CDM in the world. He's outrageously good. Not only is he good off the ball, he's excellent on the ball. But off the ball, he makes the right fouls at the right times. He took a yellow card when it was essential to do so. He left the man and let Fred get the yellow card when it was essential to stop that attack. He's very good on the ball. He played a great through ball for someone in the first half. And I just think he's an overall leader. And I'm so, so glad that Mrs. Rabiot got in the way of that transfer and we didn't get Arnautovic and we ended up with Casemiro, because that is the best 70 million euros we've spent in a long time. And he was an 8 for me.
Yeah, definitely worth it. I think he played better in the last game. Nottingham Forest, unbelievable. He's like untouchable in that game. In this game, he was still very good as well. I just think he didn't have as much of an effect on the game as he did in the last game. It just looked like he swept up. You know, the Nottingham Forest game, he swept everything up and he played everything going for it. He just did everything. And I was like, wow, how can you play to that level? And then because it came down a bit, I just gave him a 7. But again, 7 or 8, it doesn't really matter. He done what he needed to do. And exactly what you said there about the yellow card, I was like, perfect time to get a yellow. Like you have to pull him down there. No problem. That's
the bit of the game that some people don't understand. And I was actually really happy with Fred because he did the right thing too. I think Fred was very good when he came on, but he pulled him down at the right moment. You've got to make that decision as a midfielder. It's like, is that person getting away from me? What's the risk of the danger from the free kick? And then you've got to make that judgment instantly in your head. And they both made the correct decision at the right time. And very happy to get both yellow cards.
100%. 100%. Again, you're pretty much on the same lines as me with everyone. Let's see how the rest go. We've got Eriksen, who comes in. He came off slightly earlier in the game. How did you see his game?
I don't know whether I'm going to be one higher than you on this or not, but I'm going 6 for Eriksen for me. I thought he was probably an average game. I think Christian Eriksen is probably struggling with the fact that we're playing Thursday. I think he looks quite tired. I think some of his dead balls were okay, but in general, I just don't think he had the impact on the game that he has had in some of the earlier games this season. I think he's kind of had a little drop off just pre-World Cup and post-World Cup. And I think, listen, he's quality, he adds to our team, and he is essential in our team because we need someone back there alongside Casemiro who can link play and help him do that job. So he does do a role and an important role in the team. I just think there was little bits of his game today that weren't necessarily up to scratch. And listen, he wasn't bad, but average performance from Eriksen for me.
Yeah, as you say, he needs to be in the side because you want to be press resistant still in that midfield. And that's what he provides. And he does provide the simple balls all the time. Like he tries to keep the ball and keep it simple all the time. He did that. I just feel like the front three weren't really working well enough. It's weird because when the front three are not doing a lot, it's like the people behind them, they don't look like they're shining as well. Yeah. Because like let's say he plays a good ball and nothing comes from it. Then he plays another good ball and nothing comes from it, and it's like, oh, he hasn't really done much. But he like you say, he didn't do nothing wrong. But again, he didn't do anything where you go, wow, that was amazing, So again, that's why he had a bit of a quiet game. But if you're having a quiet game and you're playing like that, I'm happy, not where you're making glaring mistakes or, the other team. The only other thing was it's off the ball. When there's other players who've got more about them, they're going to get around you a bit more. And it did kind of I saw that a little bit more today than in other games. But normally we would have the ball more and we would do more with it. So it didn't hurt us in the end. And look, the manager knew when to take him off and change it up. And he went and done that. So again, hats off to Erik ten Hag for doing the exact same thing. And here's another one as well, Mr. Bruno Fernandes.
Interesting one with Bruno, because what you just said about Eriksen not shining because of the players in front of him. The best ball of the match was probably played by Bruno into Martial in the first half. Superb. Like literally, like he looked up before he received it. He played it blind, and it's an excellent tackle from the defender on Martial. But for me, Bruno did some good. He's very important in the press. I think he was very, very good off the ball today. I think he was superb. On the ball, he could have been a little bit better. It's somewhere between a 6 and a 7 for me. I'll go with 7, but it's somewhere along those lines. I thought he was decent. Robbed of an assist by a great tackle from the defender, and very, very good in the press. He's instrumental in the way we press.
Yeah, it's like if he's not playing, there's no one else in the side that can do what he does. You're gonna take the bits and pieces where they kind of don't come off. And I had him on a 6 at the time, but then when he set up Rashford for the goal as well, and I was like, he's got an assist now, and he's working hard, he's trying hard in these games where it's real tight. He got a 7 now, so let me just give him a 7. So,
and he could have had another assist with the Martial thing, and he could have had another assist with the Casemiro header from the corner. And you just listen, they all add up. They all add up.
Exactly why he gets the 7. It went up. So during the game, I'm putting my stats in. I put the stats in at half time, and then I'm like, who do I need to change as the game carries on? So he was one of the ones where he was on a 6 and he grew to a 7. So Bruno, well done. Anthony.
I don't know whether I'm going to be influenced by his performance midweek or not, because I think he was much better today than he was the other night against Forest. I still would have liked to see more in the final third. Maybe I'm going to be a little bit harsh and get a little bit of hate for this, but I'm going to go with a 6 for Anthony. I thought he was average. Yeah, well, clearly. I thought he was average. I thought he was better than he was the other night. I thought that link up on the right-hand side with Wan-Bissaka was actually quite good. I just think his final ball needs to be better. I think he came into the team, signed for a lot of money, which isn't his fault, by the way. That's not the transfer fee isn't his fault. It's obviously a burden on him, but he scored 3 goals in 3 appearances and he set the world alight. And then just since then, his end product's gone down a little bit. It was clearly an emotional day for him with what's happened with Pele. He's obviously an idol for him. And it showed a little bit, I think. I just think he made a few rushed judgments, a few rushed decisions, a couple of moments where he should do better, take shots on at the wrong time, lose passes when it's an easy pass to play. And listen, there's the skills there, the technique is there, the ability's there. It's just like when you play at Old Trafford, I know it wasn't there today, but when you play for Manchester United, it's a pressure cooker. And it doesn't matter, your technique and skill is one thing, but you've got to be able to handle that pressure and perform at that ability. And that's what I've yet to see from Anthony. So I'm not on the Anthony hate train by any means. I think he's got all the skill and the ability in the world. He just needs to be a bit more patient on the pitch, play the pass and move style, adapt his game a bit like Bruno has this season. Bruno's playing a lot more pass and move style, a lot more simple stuff, and he's getting rewarded for it. And I think Anthony should be the same, should work on more link up with Wan-Bissaka, less greed, less dribbling, better final product, and he'll be right there. But yeah, average 6 from me today.
Yeah, for me, look, he wasn't short of work rate, that's for sure. He always works hard and does what he needs to do. He wasn't short of trying with the ball either. He did try and do a lot, and the problem was exactly what you said. It's the end product that I didn't really like about it, because again, I've said this about players who are just one-footed. When you're that one-footed, that 1 foot needs to be ridiculous.
It needs to be Giggs or Messi. It basically needs to be Giggs or Messi. It needs to be worldy.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's not there yet. So what hurts is the fact that he'll get into them areas and he'll try and play balls and they're just not getting there. Or he comes in and his shots quite often not really going to hit the target. And you just feel like you still got to give him respect, because if you don't, he will destroy you. That's the good thing about him being in the side. Whereas before we used to have the likes of Mata on the right wing, and you don't need to give him any respect in terms of pace. In terms of on the ball, maybe, but in terms of that, no. And so it's one of them ones where, again, even though he's had that kind of game, he's you going now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So could you out?
Yeah, I'll sort that out. Yeah. So even though he's not had the best of games, he still should have scored. He should have scored 2 goals. Or at least done better with the header and by directing it in the corner. And then that one that came to him, I do believe it. I'd had to look at that again a few times. It bounced up a bit high for him to hit it first time. That's why he went with his head. But I was saying maybe you have to control that and then hit it quickly. But it's one of them ones where you have to anticipate that it's still going to come to you, even though Martial should have scored that header as well with the free header. I don't know why he's not heading that on target. And then Anthony comes to him and he doesn't score. So, it's a mistake, not a mistake, but it's a thing where you're reacting rather than anticipating. And that's what the difference between the top players and others. So I just want to see him improve. We said this about Giggs when he first came through. No, not really the best with crossing, doesn't score enough. And then what did you see? His crossing got better and better, started scoring more and more. So we need this from Anthony as well. So yeah. Let's kick on to the last few. Garnacho.
Interesting one. I think he was in between a 5 and a 6 for me. I think he was pretty average. I was going to give him a 5 based on the fact he missed that chance early on. And then I saw the replay and it's actually an excellent save. It's a very, very good save. Like, he puts it down into the corner. He hits it well enough, but it's just a fantastic save. The reason I'm giving him a 6 is he was an outlet in that first half. Like, he's a threat, right? So when he gets the ball, even if it doesn't come off, he tries it again. Even if it doesn't come off, he tries it again. And I do like that. I look at players in the past. I know we may go back there in a transfer story, but Memphis Depay, all the technique in the world, but when he didn't get past a man, his head dropped. And I see the opposite from Garnacho. When he doesn't get past a man, he just tries and tries again. Very Rashford-esque. Like, if I didn't beat you the first time, I'll beat you the second. And if I didn't, I'll beat you the third. And that's what I like from Garnacho. And yes, he didn't have his best game in terms of end product, but we should score at the end of the first half and he should have an assist, because there's no way, you'll see it in my rating next, but Martial should not be missing that chance. And I know you love him, and I know Nathal's going to go mad, but he cannot miss that chance. He can't miss it, mate.
I've just said that already. He's got to score. So.
He can't miss that chance. Like, as a striker, you will know you can. Like, Anthony should do better, 100%. But that's Martial's goal. That he shouldn't be missing that. So Garnacho, 6 for me, but it's close.
Yeah, Garnacho. Again, it's one of them games where it's tough because they are sitting right back as well. So he can't just run at you, let me just run. He didn't do that. He was trying to wait for the right times, and he's using his ability to move and then create little openings to put the ball in. So he did that. He did that quite well. But again, it just didn't come off as much as I would have liked to. And then when it came to the goal, the chance with the keeper saving it, I think the keeper did well. But what I said while the game was on live, I was like, round him. You've got all the time in the world. Round him. Take it round to the left and just slot it in. I was like, no, you just hit it right at him. But it's just, if you're going to take that shot, then obviously it's making the keeper more favourite. So I just felt like he's going to know in his head after that game, he's going to go, you know what, I should have rounded him. I got the ball. It wasn't even at pace. I had all the time in the world. He came out and he spread himself. It's just easy to just go around and put it in. But again, it's decision-making right at the time, and he decided to try and get the ball, score straight off.
I think he did it either against Fulham or was it against Villarreal or Valencia or whoever we played. And it's like he's put it in the corner, right? So it's like he's had success with that recently. And I think he's hit a shot where he feels like it should go in. And the keeper's made a very good save. And the percentage play is probably to round him. But in that moment, he's got recency bias of, I've tried this last time, it worked. He's tried it, and unfortunately, it's not come off. But like I said, he could have had an assist because Martial should score that header.
Yeah, so on to the man you want to talk about. What have you given him then?
I think he was a 5, and I'll get called a Martial hater. But I just don't think he offered enough in this game. So Martial is crucial to Manchester United's team at the moment, right? Because Martial is the best number 9 we have, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not doubting that. A couple of things I don't like from Martial. I think his press is kind of a bit lazy. I think it's kind of like he jogs to make it look like he's pressing, but he never presses with the intensity that a Bruno or a Garnacho or an Anthony presses with. And you can say that's just how he moves, that's this, that's that, but it's clear instruction from Ten Hag that he wants his team to press. And Martial just doesn't seem to have that self-belief that he's going to win the ball. He kind of jogs towards an opponent like he's never going to win it. And if there's a mistake, then great, but he doesn't really put the pressure on. And then you think, all right, okay, he's the number 9. It's a graveyard shift, as everyone says at Manchester United. You don't get enough chances. So then what you have to do is when you do get a chance, you have to put it away. And that's a header on the 6-yard box, open goal, put it anywhere, get any connection to it. And he basically glances it on by accident and sets up Anthony. He has to score there. So for me, if you're looking at like performance as a number 9 in this game, I don't think it was average, because I think he has to press better and I think he has to score that goal. But listen, if he scores the goal, he's probably up to a 7 for me. So that's the fine margins of being a striker. You know, it's all about goals. It's the hardest job in football, is putting the ball in the back of the net. And that's what you're paid to do. And in that scenario, just before half-time, literally 46 minutes or something, you have to score that chance. And that's why he's a 5 for me.
Okay. A little bit different, only one score off. But for me, I felt like, as you say, with the pressing side of things, he does always look like, even if he is working hard, running fast, he doesn't look like he's actually running fast. So it's a hard one. I'm watching him always going, are you working hard or are you not? So it's
I think
always,
when you see him at the ground, it's a little bit like I see him at the ground sometimes, and you see the intensity. It doesn't always catch on TV, but when you see it from a bird's eye view from above at the ground, it's very clear that he's not putting the energy into his press that others are putting in. And listen, this isn't me saying, oh, Martial's lazy, he's this. That's not me saying that. I just think he can put more effort into that side of his game. That's all.
Yeah, we know that. And again, I've played with lots of players who actually, they do work hard, but they never get seen as working hard either. Yeah. I'm not saying that he is a worker. He don't look like a hard worker in terms of that side of his game. I don't think he'll ever be that kind of player anyway.
But he does drop deep and work hard and link up the play and stuff. So he works hard in other areas of the game, right?
Yeah. But again, with me, I think his link-up play was very, very good today.
It was good.
With all the players very well. And he looked sharp. But again, you got to score with your chances. So if I'm looking at as an overall performance, as that guy up front being the link between the midfield and the attack and everything, I felt he really did well there. And then with the limited chances, and again, you've got to score a header like that. That's bread and butter for every striker in the world. You've got to head that on target. You've got to get a connection, just a connection, please. Go and work with Rashford and score some headers the way Rashford's been doing. He's weak on headers. You're weak on headers. Go and fix it. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the improvements there, and he didn't do it, obviously. So that's why he got less than a 7. As you said, if he scored, he would have got a 7. But he didn't score, so he got 6. And again, I don't mind someone saying you got a 5 because of the miss. If you miss a chance, which is a chance where you've got to hit the target and you don't, you're striking.
Listen, at both ends of the pitch, right? That's the problem with being at both ends of the pitch. If you're a goalkeeper or if you're a striker, you can do whatever you want for 88 minutes, but it's one moment in a game which defines your game. And if you're a keeper and you make a mistake, or if you're a forward and you miss a chance, then that defines your game, because that's what you're in the team to do. We can go on about keepers starting attacks, and we can go on about strikers linking up play, but that's additional parts of their game. Their main goal on a football pitch is to stop the ball going in and to score. And that's it. So those are the moments that you have to judge those players on. And unfortunately, Martial didn't put the ball in the net today.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to go with Rashford next. But before that, I'm just going to obviously bunch the subs in all together. Apart from Fred, I think he got himself about 7. Yeah,
I'd go for 7 for Fred. I thought he was very good when he came on, actually.
Good. And everyone else is not even going to give him a result because I don't think they played long enough at all. But the last guy I want to mention, I want you to tell me what you thought. Mr. Rashford comes on at half-time, gets his goal. Should have had 2. I don't care what anyone says. That should never be a handball. But what do you think anyway? And what do you give him?
So this is based on what I've given other players, and I think he was equally as good as all the high players that I've given. So I'm going to give him an 8. I guess he's going to get a 7 from you. But that's what I have to give him. Like, moments change games. He came on. We created stuff in the first half, but we didn't put the ball in the net. And like we said, the most important thing to do in football is to score more than the opposition and put the ball in the net. And Rashford came on and did that. He created it himself. It's a great little 1-2 with Bruno. The tenacity to keep the ball, the calmness to shift it onto his right foot, and then the finish. It's absolutely great. And this Marcus Rashford, we need to have a conversation about Marcus Rashford, because he had a lot of hate after the penalty miss at the Euros, and then last season he had a lot of hate, and he was clearly struggling. And people got on Marcus Rashford's case, right? Marcus Rashford is a fantastic footballer. I'm not having this no football intelligence, this no end product, I'm not having any of that. It's absolute nonsense. Anyone that's played the game, anyone that's watched Manchester United for a long period of time, I've watched Rashford all the way from youth level to now. There's a reason, right? And I'm not saying he's on this level. He's clearly not on Kylian Mbappe's level. But there is a reason in 2019 that people were at least entertaining the conversation. Yeah. They weren't entertaining the conversation out of madness. They were entertaining it because Rashford was a world beater in 2019. Yes, he wasn't on Mbappe's levels. And yes, he hasn't gone on to Mbappe's levels. Yeah. But he was a very, very good footballer. And he still is. And a confident Marcus Rashford is an excellent football player. And his attitude is completely different. His confidence is sky high. His end product is amazing. His pace, everything is amazing about Marcus Rashford at the moment. And I love Marcus Rashford in a Manchester United shirt at the moment. I'm all for it. And I'm so happy he scored, and I'm so happy for him.
Crazy, because exactly what I think. You know, them days when he was killing it, I said he was this close to world class. He's just off the world class levels that he was playing. And when he was, obviously, when he did lose he was off form massively. We know that it's not an ability thing. We could see what he's done in the past, and we could see what he was doing. And I said straight away, it's here. It's up here. Something was going on up here through last year. He was going through a lot. And that's what happened. He's going through injuries as well as loss of form and just not thinking about the game. His head must have been off the game completely. And look, managers come back, restored the confidence in him, and he's slowly come back to the levels, because you just got to keep playing and playing. And then you get more regularity in the game. You get more match fit, match sharp. And then your mind is now clear. And we're back to the old Rashford again. It's as simple as that. And like I say, he is close to world class when he's at his best. And I don't think he'll ever get to Mbappe level, because Mbappe is a freak of nature. But look,
Mbappe's a once in a generation talent, like he just is. Whereas Rashford is potentially world class. I don't doubt that.
At this level, Rashford playing at this level, he can go to a Barcelona. He can go to even like a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich. Anyone would want him for like 100 million. So,
agreed.
But for that being the case, he's got to be of a good level. So, Rashi, keep doing what you're doing, mate, because you are on fire, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. That's all that matters to me. Last guy, Erik ten Hag. What are you giving him today? I don't know if you do the managers, but we like to give the managers for who he picked, what changes he made, and then obviously how the game finished.
So, controversial one. I'll give him a 9. I thought he was absolutely excellent. The reason I'll give him a 9, I thought he's dealt with the Rashford situation extremely well. I think if you're going to come in and you're going to say that player power is an issue at Manchester United, then you can't complain that Marcus Rashford has been dropped today. That is exactly the decision that needs to be taken by the football club to implement a structure and some kind of management in place at the club. To get rid of all that player power and stuff. So from that point of view, superb. From the point of view of bringing on Marcus Rashford at half-time, superb. Changed the game. Keeping Luke Shaw at centre-back, superb. Keeping Wan-Bissaka in the team, superb. And then you've got to look, Garnacho, Anthony. Anthony played better today than he did against Forest. So again, he got that right. His subs were right. Fred came on. Rashford came on. I think he did very well. And like I said, last season, we don't win that game.
Yeah.
New manager bounced from Wolves. And let's face it, Wolves played good football. Wolves played well today. Wolves didn't play like a 19th place team or whatever. Wolves played like a mid-table, like lower top half table team. Yeah. And they were very, very good and could have caused us a lot of problems today. And if they'd have scored the first goal, they would have caused us a lot of problems. But thankfully, Erik ten Hag has put a huge focus on us being defensively solid and then taking our chances. And we did that in the second half. And ten Hag deserves credit for that. So 9 out of 10 for me.
You know what? You've taken the words out of my mouth and all my players. I'm trying to figure out some new things to say now, but you've killed it. You've absolutely killed it and said exactly what I would say about him. He continues to make the right decisions in every game. In-game management is absolutely on point. That's why he's won things, in Ajax, and that's why he's come here and just showed who he is, and that this is not too big a job for him. He's come in and he is the main man. He continues to get results, and look, he's probably thinking, look, even this Sancho business, he's working on getting him back to a level. And I bet when he comes, he hits the ground running as well. So, you know what? Erik ten Hag, I'll give you an 8. It's harsh even giving him an 8 because you're right. He's close to being perfect again with the resources he has, with what he had to do, the decision-making he had to do with Rashford to not start him. But again, if he started, it might have been an easier game in the end. But look, he went and done the right things. He still played out, working out with a clean sheet and a win. What more can you ask for? Ten Hag, lovely, absolutely lovely. On to the next game where we have got Bournemouth
on Tuesday.
At home. Bournemouth on Tuesday at home. Yeah. So it'll be a big one. But again, James, been great chatting with you. Good to hear that you're on exactly the same wavelength as me with pretty much everything. And basically, you do love an argument with someone once they get it wrong. So
I do, mate. I just like I get so passionate about Manchester United sometimes, and I just don't believe in, I'm a massive believer in supporting the team no matter who plays. So when people start taking agendas and favourite players into things, I just get annoyed about it. I'm like, listen, go into the game optimistic as a fan. You want them to play well. If someone doesn't, then fair enough. You can have your critique and analysis afterwards, but don't go in with some preconceived agenda that we're not going to do well because someone's playing or your favourite player isn't playing or whatever. Like, it's a team sport. You support the team. If you want to support an individual, go watch boxing, go watch UFC, go watch tennis, go watch anything like that. Football's a team sport. Your team plays in red. Go and support the 11 lads in red. And that's the end of it. So the only argument you get is if you don't do that.
Exactly. Lovely to hear from you, James. It's been a fresh breath of fresh air. Good to see you. And again, we'll be on for the preview on Monday at 5 p.m. for the game for Tuesday. So look forward to seeing you soon anyway. I didn't see you at last game. I think me and Nathal came down to the game in the week, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, next time we're there, we'll give you a call and make sure we see you.
Yeah, give me a call. Make sure you see me. I didn't see you over Christmas. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. All the best for 2023, Nate.
Happy holidays to you too, lad. And we'll speak to you soon.
See you later, man. Take care. Peace.